What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news update video. And it looks like Liverpool are set to sign Marc Guehi in the January transfer window, with some journalists saying that the deal is practically already done. Liverpool are closing in on signing the England international, who was very close to signing for Liverpool in the summer. He already completed part of his medical, he said goodbye to the Crystal Palace team and his teammate. He even did a farewell video for the Crystal Palace in-house TV station. So that transfer move fell through at the last second, but now this January transfer really gathers momentum, and Liverpool, I think, absolutely must sign a centre-back, otherwise they risk their season derailing even further. If anything happens to Konate or Van Dijk, then Liverpool are in serious trouble when it comes to centre-back cover. And even though there was interest from Real Madrid, Barcelona, Inter Milan and Bayern Munich for the services of Marc Guehi, it looks like the 25-year-old brilliant centre-back has given his word that he is joining Liverpool. And the Spanish journalist Bruno Alemany recently stated that Liverpool have this transfer deal pretty much wrapped up. Louis Steele of the Daily Mail also reported earlier this month in November that Marc Guehi gave his word to Liverpool that he will sign for them either in January or next summer, depending on when Liverpool can do a deal with Crystal Palace. And if these reports are accurate, that Liverpool will only pay like a signing bonus, with Crystal Palace receiving nothing in return if Marc Guehi joins in the summer. But if Liverpool want to sign him in January, then we need to give Crystal Palace like a nominal transfer fee. And when the negotiations took place with Crystal Palace wanted a 10% sell-on clause inserted into the deal with Liverpool, so they missed out on a lot of money keeping Marc Guehi. And so far I don't think that move has been justified, because they are struggling in the Conference League. They suffered a couple of defeats, but in the Premier League they are doing pretty well. Marc Guehi got injured recently, so he's on the sidelines at the moment. And I think Liverpool absolutely have to sign Marc Guehi before the World Cup kicks off, because if Marc Guehi plays at the World Cup and plays really well as a free agent, then a lot of clubs will circle around him like absolute sharks. So I think Liverpool need to wrap this deal up before the World Cup begins. There is still a lot of uncertainty around the contract of Konate. Liverpool offered fresh terms to Konate recently, and recently he said on France international duty that Konate hopes his decision will be made very soon. He said, so I can announce it. So Konate wants to announce his decision whether he's staying at Liverpool or leaving. Hopefully he will announce he's staying, because if he announced he's leaving in November, that would I think anger a lot of Liverpool fans. So I'm leaning towards Marc Guehi will announce he is staying at Liverpool, hopefully very very soon. And according to a recent report at Sky Sports, Liverpool are the only club who will make an approach for Marc Guehi in January, because most clubs want him as a free transfer and they will start only bidding him after the January transfer window. So this gives Liverpool a great opportunity, and especially because of Leone's long-term injury and because Joe Gomez is also injury-prone, Liverpool I think need a centre-back signing in the January transfer window, and we could get Marc Guehi for a really nominal like cut price fee, maybe like 10-15 million pounds. I think that is a sensible transfer fee for a player who has only 6 months left on his contract. And Dean Jones, who is a reporter and a transfer expert, he said that they, of course, Liverpool have been hoping to sign Marc Guehi after failing to land him in the summer, obviously, but there are some doubts about that happening, especially in January. I have heard they might yet consider finding someone to bridge the gap and to help them in the second half of the season. They would only do it for the right player, but from what I understand, they are open-minded about the prospect of finding an experienced figure to come in and give them a new sense of resilience in defense. It's not something that is completely decided at this stage, But I do think there is a realization they could do with another player to come in, because they are vulnerable in defense, Liverpool. I don't know exactly where they are at in terms of identifying the ideal new defensive option, but there are some early indications that they could move for an attainable player. That could be someone with an expiring contract, or someone who is on the fringes somewhere else, who might fancy the challenge of coming in and making an impact. So Liverpool definitely need more solid, reliable options at the back. Joe Gomez, as I said, is a good option, but he can't play 2 or 3 games a week because he's inevitably going to get injured. So that's why Liverpool needs some insurance policy. And also, long term, we need a replacement for Van Dijk. Konate might leave on a free transfer. So there is a lot of question marks, a lot of issues. There are a lot of question marks, a lot of issues around Liverpool's defensive setup. And I found a quote from Alemany, the Spanish journalist, who said that this transfer is pretty much wrapped up for Liverpool. He said, and he spoke on a TV show, and he said he's a good player. He seems to me to be a great centre-back who has been a starter for some time with the English national team. He plays on the left. Although he's not left-footed, he handles his left foot well too. I think it would be a fantastic signing, but I think Liverpool have it pretty much wrapped up, to be honest, which is a bold claim. And Alemany went on to say that Real Madrid were also interested. Yes, I've read some information, but they were also waiting because there was some doubt. And he's one of those centre-backs who is on the short list of big clubs to reinforce the position without paying a transfer fee. I think that's where Marc Guehi is very, very attractive, that his contract is running out, so he can basically pick from a host of clubs vying for his signature. That's why I think it would make a lot of sense if Liverpool signed him in the January transfer window, but only for the right price. And even if Konate signs a new contract, Liverpool need a replacement for Van Dijk long term, and Joe Gomez might leave. He wanted to leave 2 summers in a row, but because Liverpool couldn't sign a defensive reinforcements in his place, he stayed put. But sooner or later he will leave, Joe Gomez, and then we would need a replacement for him as well. And Dan Marsh, who is a senior sports reporter at Liverpool.com, he's reporting that Crystal Palace is under the impression that Liverpool are the only club who will come in for Marc Guehi in the January transfer window, and other clubs are, looking to sign Marc Guehi on a free transfer. So Liverpool will try to bid for Marc Guehi, and if we can come to a sensible solution, then I think that would be a great time for Liverpool to sign Marc Guehi. And congratulations to Andy Robertson and Scotland on qualifying for the World Cup. What a massive achievement. I'm sure some of you guys are from Scotland or like Scotland as a national team watching these videos of mine, and what an absolutely magnificent achievement. The Scotland-Denmark game was one of the best, most thrilling games I've ever seen, and probably the best game of the season so far. In terms of drama, atmosphere, it had everything. It had a bicycle kick goal, red card, penalty, goal from the halfway line, brilliant long-range strike which sent Scotland to the World Cup, an incredible drama until the 93rd minute. Denmark was the team who were very close to qualifying directly to the World Cup, and Scotland scored 2 late goals in the 93rd and 98th minute, and especially the 98th minute winner. I mean, the 93rd minute winner was spectacular by Kieran Tierney, but the 98th minute goal from the halfway line is just epic. I don't remember a game where there were so high quality goals in one game from one team, and the game had so much at stake. And this is literally a miracle, because Scotland hasn't been to the World Cup since 1998. That was the first World Cup I've ever watched as a kid, and now Scotland qualified for their new World Cup, and Andy Robertson will play at the World Cup, hopefully, if he doesn't get injured before he retires from international football. And Andy Robertson was very emotional after the game. He said, "I couldn't get my mate Diogo Jota out of my head today." We have spoken so much about the World Cup in the months before his tragic accident, which still hurts so much. And Andy Robertson said, losing one of your closest mates for me was hugely difficult, and it's something we will probably never get over. But he did well during the day, but he broke down internally after Scotland qualified for the World Cup. And Andy Robertson said, I will miss you, love you, brother. And I'm so happy for Robertson and for the whole Scotland national team. What a magnificent achievement to qualify for a World Cup, and also to qualify in such a spectacular fashion is absolutely brilliant. And yeah, it just puts into perspective, like Liverpool struggling this season. One of the reasons, I think, is the passing of Diogo Jota, and how the Liverpool players found it very, very difficult to cope with that, because it's such a shocking, tragic and unusual situation, losing one of your best friends, one of your teammates so suddenly and so unexpectedly in a tragic accident. And that I don't remember that ever happening in football to such a high profile player before. So yeah, the Liverpool players I think got affected by that, and it was one of the many factors contributing to Liverpool not playing at their best. And I sympathize with the players, to be honest. That's my opinion, but let me know yours in the comments below. And thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a lovely day. See you later. Goodbye.